Hello to all of you from all of us here at Julian Campbell Foundation. And it is exam season, and the purpose of this video is to really talk about what can we do as parents, as educators, to help our young people, to help the adolescents with their mental health and well-being. So what we know so far is that the adolescent brain is just a bit more vulnerable than the adult brain. We're going to be talking about three of these ways that young people's brains are more vulnerable than ours, and what we can do as adults to support our young people. So we know that there's a lot going on in brain development. There's a lot of hormonal changes. There's whatever response we have as adults to stress. Like a young person's brain is more pronounced, like their reaction to stress, as well as greater social sensitivity. Because don't forget that we've got our young people socializing amongst their peers, and so all of the peer pressure and the dynamics of friendships, they're just much more sensitive to. Also, as well, like sleep is more important, and also as is the exposure to social media and digital overload and those kind of like computer games and things like this. So knowing all of this, and knowing that we have our frontal cortex, which is well developed, and as a young person, their frontal cortex is still developing, and so because it's still developing, that means that there's a propensity to risky behavior. Also, as well, like rewards, it's reward centric. So linking that with neurotransmitters or the chemicals in the brain, it kind of like, when it's washed with dopamine as well, which is a reward chemical, it can really have a surge of contentment, which is okay if we're setting targets with our young people with an aim. So for example, like, one of my relatives said to their daughter, oh, okay, like if you learn this song, it's in French, then I'm going to give you £100. So this is a reward centric. So this young person is then going to strive and do anything that they need to do to be able to learn this, to have that £100. And the thing is, what's going on with social media and video games and all this, that, and the other, there's lots and lots and lots and lots of dopamine, and there's no work up front. And what we need to do as well as adults, we'll just say that a bit more about that later, is to see what we can do and put a framework in place rather than letting them jump over all of that and just get to the end point, which is like an oversurge of dopamine, which isn't very good for a developing brain. So what can we do as adults to help support our young people and get them to be the best version of themselves? So I would say there's three things we're going to talk about today. Open conversations, talking about emotional regulation, how to get them to manage their own mood and encourage that. And also as well, like healthy sleeping and eating habits. Now, there's much more that we can be talking about, but let's focus on these. So open conversation. So it's really important that we listen. And I know sometimes we want to just tell and we want to give advice, but listening for what a young person is dealing with is really key. And families that have at least 5 meals together, they're the ones whose young people, it fosters greater emotional intelligence, and the young people are more successful. There's so many advantages to this, and less likely to go for drugs or alcohol and things like this. So really being around and listening, and also as well as adults, we are modeling behavior to our young people. So they are looking at the way that we're managing our emotional intelligence and our mental health, and they're learning from us. So encouraging open conversations. If there's no time to be eating together, then really listening to the young person. I'd say for at least 20 minutes a day. And in that time, let them speak about what it is that they want to speak about, and really listen to them and do what it is that they want to do. This is really good for them. And in that time, if they're talking about how they're feeling, if they're upset about something, then it's really important for us as adults to be in their world and listen and get that, because sometimes we want to maybe put a band-aid or a plaster on it. Oh, no, 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 don't feel like that if they're feeling upset about something. And it's really important that if a young person is feeling upset about something, that they actually feel that feeling. It's really, really important, because then once they feel the feeling, we can show them strategies, or they develop strategies to be able to manage that. Because what can quite often happen is they might come home from school, something's happened, they've had an argument with somebody in their peer group, and they start sharing it, and then because we don't want them to feel upset, we start saying, oh no, don't worry about it, it isn't anything. But in course, for doing that, we're actually negating that feeling, and we're not showing our young people how to deal with that feeling in future times. So really, the first one is encouraging open conversations. And the second one, really, that we can do is to promote our own mood management. So really modeling how we feel and how we deal with situations. So let's say, for example, that something negative has happened and we've had an argument with somebody and we're upset. It's really how we deal with that in the moment. And it's really good to showcase it, because in showcasing it, we're showing how, yeah, we're human, we get upset, and this is how we manage it, and this is how we overcome it. And this is really, really good, because young people they're learning from us. And us as a foundation, we're dealing with a lot of young people, and we mentor young people and help them manage their mental health and well-being. And sometimes the young people that we are supporting, they've learned their strategies from their parents. And what we do as families as well, it's kind of like a family, not family therapy, but it's family coaching. We involve the parents in at this step, and ask them to do certain things for themselves to improve their own well-being, and things that they can put in place as well with their children to take things to the next level. Because as mentors, when we work with young people, we can only do so much, and then working with the family as a whole, we can really raise the family emotional intelligence. So first of all, we talked about the benefits or the advantages of encouraging open conversation. And the second thing is also like promoting emotional regulation and coping skills. And instead of not showing that to our young people in our lives, because we don't want to show them the horrible stuff, it's really great to show them how things are, because then we're showing them how to manage their own mental health and well-being, and promoting their levels of emotional intelligence. And I can't say enough of the third thing is really fostering healthy eating habits. It's really, really important. Hey there, Den. It's really, really important. Why is it important? Young brains are just developing. They need a minimum of 8 hours sleep every evening. And during that time, they're processing everything that's happened in the day, making sense of it. They've been in school, in the learning system as well. So they're processing all of that. And what happens is that we are dealing with, or we're working with young people who are going to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock in the morning, and waking up about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. And this isn't enough time for our young brains. We really do need a minimum of 8 hours sleep for them to thrive, for them to really develop a healthy mindset, for their brain development to process very, very well. So modeling healthy sleeping habits is a really good thing to do. And also as well, for us parents, like we're speaking with a lot of young people, because we mentor young people in schools and the community who are going to bed at 12 o'clock, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, because they're in computer games, they're on WhatsApp, they're on their mobile phones. We're doing all of these things, and we don't know if you know what's going on. However, it doesn't work for them in the long run. What really works best is for you to have a planned amount of time for them to play the community their game or be on the phone. Not too long, but that needs to be managed. Otherwise, of course, what is a young person going to go for? Are they going to go for something where they can get the dopamine fix and then flood their brain with that chemical that makes them feel good? Or are they going to sit down and do their homework? Or if you say to them that you're going to give them £100 if they finish a project, or you're going to give them anything, are they going to do that? So we need to really provide the framework to enable our young people to develop and improve their mindsets, strengthen their mindsets, and have that emotional intelligence. So today, I'm speaking with you. My name's Jackie. I'm speaking with you on behalf of Julian Campbell Foundation. We support children and young people, support them with their healthy strategies for early intervention, for their mental health and well-being. We work in schools, in the community. And if you'd like to know more information, please do inbox me. And I look forward to hearing from you. And thank you for asking for me to talk about this. And there's anything more would you like us to talk about, please put it in the chat or inbox me. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week.